Feeling overwhelmed by the thought of entering a saturated transaction coordination market? Let's explore why there's actually a lot of business to go around and how you can stand out. Hello and welcome back. My name is Cecilia Peralta. I am a virtual assistant, and in this channel I share tips, tutorials, and industry insights to help virtual assistants become successful business owners. As many of you know, I have been conducting market research interviews with a lot of you aspiring TCs. So first of all, thank you so much for your support and participation, and you will definitely be the first to know when I launch my TC course, and there are going to be a lot of surprises and rewards for you, the ones that participate. And I actually have the chance to hear directly from you all the concerns you have about coming into this business. And one of the things that I keep hearing over and over is a concern about entering into a saturated market where there might not be enough business for all of you. As we all know, your ideal client is a real estate agent or realtor, and in some cases, investors as well. But today, we're only going to focus on realtors. So to give you a little bit of perspective, let's visit the National Association of Realtors website. As you can see, there are 1.5 plus million members in NAR, in the National Associations of Realtors. And they report 4.38 million units sold in February. To me, this is a huge industry, and there are plenty of realtors we can serve and plenty of transactions we can coordinate. Yet, there is only a fraction of realtors utilizing transaction coordinators. There is a massive opportunity waiting for those who can bridge the gap. And I know that a lot of you might argue that not every single realtor is the high producer. And you're absolutely right. And you might also say that if there are no high producers, they will manage their own transactions. And you're also right. And I will argue that that is not your ideal client. So if you're focusing on that type of realtor that doesn't see the value on a transaction coordinator, maybe you are not targeting your ideal client. As in any other business, you're going to have people that are going to see the value in what you offer and other people that won't. You shouldn't be spending any time or energy into the people that cannot see the value. You will be able to narrow down your search and make sure that you target the realtors that are actually under the ideal client for your type of business. So first of all, you have to keep in mind that your business model is not going to please every single realtor out there. But it doesn't matter, it's okay. You just need to be very clear on the services that you offer. And in order to provide a quality product, I think that the first step is for you as a business owner to decide what type of services are you going to offer. And that is going to depend on your skills, your area of expertise, your preferences, and what you are legally allowed to do. For example, some transaction coordinators might offer listing coordination as part of their business model. Some others are going to be like, no way, thank you so much, that's not my thing, and that's perfectly fine. Some TCs are going to be licensed TCs, and they might be allowed by the state and by the broker to draft documents for their clients. Some other TCs might not be licensed, so they might not be able to offer that service. And some other TCs might be licensed and decide not to offer that service because they don't want that as part of their business model. Now, once that you decide what type of services are you going to offer, then you will have to make sure that you are knowledgeable enough in order to actually provide that service to your client, to fulfill your promise. Please don't practice on your client's files. What happens if you forget a due date or if you have the wrong day in your system and now the buyer is not canceling on time and that put their escrow at risk. Think about it. Some people have to work for years in order to be able to get into the home purchase process. I'm not trying to create fear or insecurity. However, you have responsibility in your hands and you have to be a professional. You have to be the support that you promise you're going to be for your realtors. And in order to do that, you have to be knowledgeable. Now, the other thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the value proposition. So once that you have a list of the services that you're going to provide and you have all the systems in place that are going to support you in providing these services, then it's time for you to start marketing those services, right? Start to offer them to the world. And that is when you're going to actually benefit if you create a very strong and clear value proposition. And the value proposition basically is, what issue do you fix? Why are you valuable for your agents? The idea here is to go beyond the obvious. The obvious is that you offer transaction coordination services. But why a realtor would like to have a transaction coordinator in their team? Why? What's the benefit? That is what you need to be able to communicate. Now, in order to do that, I also believe that you need to understand really well your ideal client. And the best way to do that is to have an interaction with them, network with them, create relationships, rapport, truly understand what are their pain points, what they need help with, what problems they have. Then you will be able to offer a service that is tailored to their needs. Not what you think they need, but what they actually need. And if you do that, obviously you're going to speak their language. You're going to be able to stand out from the crowd. Now, I wanted to talk about the third component that I think that is absolutely important, and that is mindset. And as I mentioned before, I've been spending some time with aspiring TCs doing all these interviews, and a lot of you expressed that you are super concerned about the market, about coming to a niche that is already saturated, and that all the high producers are already taken, and that all the teams already have TCs, and that nobody is going to actually pay attention to you, and that you are not going to have any chances in this business. And I totally get it that it can be stressful. However, life is full of changes. And let me tell you that sometimes you don't even know, but that TC that was working for that high producer might be going into maternity leave. Maybe that team of realtors is actually not happy with the TC that they currently have. Or maybe they are, but that TC reached capacity. So the reality is that you never know, right? You never know what situations are developing every day in the industry, in the world, in everyone's life. So let me give you a real example. Mine. A lot of you know that I started as a real estate agent, and I wasn't a high producer. And I was working crazy hours, right? And the amount of closings that I was having didn't really justify the amount of hours that I was working. So I was about to have that difficult conversation with my team leader to tell him, you know what, I did my best, but this is not working for me. He told me that his executive assistant was leaving, and nobody knew about that. And he offered me the position right there. So I didn't know that she was leaving, right? Nobody knew. So if that happened to me, that could very well happen to you. So don't think for a minute that because, other TCs already have clients, that you don't have any chances. The point in here is that there are a lot of opportunities for everyone. And the world is constantly changing, and TCs come and go. But the most important thing is that you have to have a mindset that supports your goals. A mindset that you are capable of doing things, whatever you put in your mind. a mindset that you are ready to be the best version of yourself, and the mindset that believe that you can have plenty. I believe in you, and I am rooting for you.